Welcome to News Politics. Former President Donald Trump has laid off claims that COVID-19 vaccines are generally unsafe, whereas asserting that his own role within the development of the vaccines might have saved 100 million lives. Before we continue, please support us by clicking on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for more reliable updates. Trump touted the effectiveness of Operation Warp Speed, his administration program to accelerate the development of COVID-19 vaccines and therapeutics, throughout a Monday interview on the conservative podcast The Water Cooler. Host David Brody asked the former president if he would acknowledge that the vaccines were not as safe or effective as we have a tendency to were told by the medical personnel at the time, when continuance variety of unsubstantiated anti-vaccine claims. "I was able to get one thing approved that is proved to possess saved plenty of lives," Trump aforesaid, ignoring Brody's request to weigh in on the anti-vaccine narrative. "Some folks say that I saved 100 million lives worldwide." Trump touted the speed of vaccine development underneath his program, spoke in communication that he was able to induce the vaccines drained 9 months, as opposition what he claimed would have been 5 years to 12 years. The former president said that it absolutely was very important to notice that he failed to order lockdowns or a federal vaccine mandate and had never forced anyone to induce the shots. He conjointly praised Republican governors for refusing mandates and lockdowns at the state level. However, he singled out his potential 2024 GOP primary opponent Ron DeSantis for pandemic policy criticism, commenting that the Florida governor had stopped working his state for an amount of time. Brody then pushed Trump to declare whether or not he had concerns regarding the security issues of those vaccines. Trump aforementioned that he always had concerns, however argued that some reports were saying the vaccines were the greatest factor that ever happened, whereas those who claimed safety issues concerned relatively tiny numbers. "You have to be compelled to understand, there are the professionals and cons," said Trump. "Some reports say that it's the best factor that ever happened and that we saved tens of voluminous lives. Then you'll scan alternative reports that say there have been some issues with the vaccine. However, comparatively small numbers. But you have got many reports that say the vaccines saved tens of millions of lives," he continued. "That while not the vaccines you'd have had a thing. Wherever maybe 100 million people died." Brody began the discussion on vaccines by claiming that there had been sudden death spikes. A popular, however debunked anti-vaccine conspiracy video referred to as "died suddenly" makes similar claims. The host conjointly seen that the Centers for Disease Management and Hindrance last week saying an early warning system had flagged an unconfirmed safety signal regarding a link between the Pfizer COVID-19 dose and strokes within the elderly. Brody failed to mention that the agency later determined that there was no link following an intensive review of data. Monday was far away from the primary time that Trump has spoken absolutely regarding COVID vaccines, despite his position inspiring anger from a number of his supporters. The former president has sometimes seemingly tried to avoid mentioning vaccines, probably thanks to the shots remaining unpopular among Republicans. After China unleashed this deadly virus onto the remainder of the world, President Trump and his administration worked indefatigably to secure medical equipment to save lots of the lives of Americans who were infected, Trump advocate Stephen Chung aforementioned during a statement given to Newsweek. Operation Warp Speed was a once-in-a-lifetime initiative that gave people the choice of utilizing medical specialty if they wanted to do so. He conjointly fought against any commit to federalize the pandemic response by protecting each state right to ultimately decide what's best for his or her people, attributable to the distinctive challenges every state faced. In coordination with governors across the country, President Trump provided help and equipment as requested or if needed. Thanks for watching. Let us know your view in the comments section.